place value, rounding. Rounding is saying which group of tens, hundreds, of thousands, or etc. a number is closest to. So you could keep going forever on the place value chart to say which group that a number is closest to. When you round a number, it's always going to have zeros at the end. It depends on what you're rounding it to tell you how many zeros it's going to have. So let's look at an example. We have round 23,194 to the nearest thousand. Now, because we're talking about thousands, everything we do is going to be based on counting by thousands and the thousands place. So here's where all of your knowledge of the place value comes into play. You have to know which place the thousands is. So I am going to mark that. So after marking it, I can see I've made a little place value chart above my numbers. I can see that the 3 is the digit that is in the thousands place. Because the number 23,194 has 3 thousands, I am going to keep that amount of thousands. I also know that it doesn't only have 3 thousands, it has 23 thousands when I rename it. So I could either keep it at 23 thousands and start, so it could round to that, or notice that I have 3 zeros just like in the number thousands because that's what I'm rounding to. Or I could round to 1,000 more. Here's where our adding comes in. 1,000 more than 23,000 would be 24,000. So now I have two numbers to which 23,194 could round to. My job now is to find the midpoint. What is the middle of 23,000 and 24,000? When you're looking at midpoints, you're thinking about what is the middle of 0 and 1,000. Between 0 and 1,000 is 500. Why? Because if I put all of the numbers on the number line between 0 and 1,000, 500 would be the number in the middle by itself without a partner. It would be exactly in the middle. It would have the same amount on the left as it does on the right. So because of that, I know that I'm working with 500, so to speak. So I have 23,000, and so I know that I'm going to have the same amount of thousands because my number is between 23 and 24,000. So I have 23,500 as my midpoint or my middle number here. And now I can properly place 23,194 on the number line. I just have to look at my midpoint. Is it less than? Everything we've learned so far is coming into play. Adding, comparing, all of those things. Or is it greater than 23,500? Well, when I look at this, I see that it has 23,000 just like this number. But it only has 100, which makes it less than 23,500. So I know that it goes on this side, and I'm going to star about where it would go. Because my star is here and the number would go here, I can see that this number is closer to 23,000 than it is to 24,000. So I'm going to round to 23,000. So in writing my answer, I'm going to write that 23,194, and this little symbol in the middle just means approximately or close to. So 23,194 is approximately 23,000, or it's close to 23,000 when rounding. I have another example here, and I want you to use the number line system to tell me what it rounds to. Also, I want to mention that sometimes you might see a number line that is vertical rather than horizontal, meaning it might go up and down, but the principle does not change. The principle does not change. So even though this is vertical, so you can see that you're supposed to round to the nearest 10,000. Everything you do is going to be based on 10,000. Where's the 10,000s place? It's right here where the 4 is. So I know that I have 4 10,000s, but I also have 24 10,000s. So this number could round to 240,000. Notice that I have 4 zeros, or it could round to 10,000 more, which one more 10,000 would be 250,000. And I just have to find the midpoint. So my midpoint is 245,000. I know that 243,000 is less than 245,000, so I think it would go here, which means it would round to 240,000. So when you go to write it, you would use the approximate symbol, or you could write out the words close to. 243,289 is approximately or close to 240,000. And that's rounding.